album. Came to see our show in Grasspop and on Wacken.
You're on a tour called The Last Tour. How many gigs are you playing in Germany?
In Germany? In Germany we did these two now, and earlier on the tour in January I think we did 8 around. So I guess it's around 8 or 10, including the festivals that we're doing now this year. But I think in the last 12 months we've done about 150 shows around the world.
Is it really The Last Tour?
No, but the album is called The Last Stand.
Okay, we see
everything is called The Last now, you know. The last drumsticks, the last guitar pick,
the last beer,
the last one night stand.
Yeah.
Last singer.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody knows the gig. The German fans knows the gig. Noch ein Bier, so.
Since you started this Finnish Vegas thing now, you get to drink a beer.
Is it a bit annoying sometimes the audience interrupt the show?
Well, we got used to it. We started it many years ago, you know. In 2000, I think it was maybe 6 or something like that. I didn't know what to say, and I always wanted to say something local, you know, in the local language. And I studied in German in school, but that was a long time ago. But of course, you know, being in Germany where there is so much good beer, and almost every town has their own very good beer. So that would be a natural thing to connect with the crowd, to have the local beer, noch ein Bier, Prost liebe Freunde, hey! And now it's madness, it's only noch ein Bier, noch ein Bier.
You had to cover the song for Immer from Dodo. How did you tell me what's difficult to sing in German?
Well, it is. For me, German is pretty hard to speak. I studied it in school, so I can understand it pretty easily. But I couldn't really write a song in German. But to actually sing in German, we've done Für immer, we've done Rammstein's Feuer frei as covers over the years. But it's. Well, I think if I can roll the R's and not do, it's actually possible to do. Maybe I don't get the exact grammar correct or the pronunciation, but yeah, at least I know what words I'm singing right now, so I can understand when to go extra strong when I'm singing. But no, I wouldn't say I speak German, no. Because if I would sing in, let's say, Polish that I don't speak at all, I wouldn't know what am I singing now. So should I make this strong and pronounce this? At least I've heard enough German to realize that, okay, now I'm saying this is the part that should go strongly. This is where I back down.
So the most of your lyrics are telling about war. And what's behind this concept? Is it a stylistic device for you?
No, I mean, we just feel it's interesting. A lot of people have, you know, lost their lives, and now their stories are being forgotten. So why are we making up new ones? I mean, we don't do it, you know, political or religious propaganda. We just really are fans of history, and we don't want, no matter whose side you were fighting on, that soldiers' lives should be forgotten. You know?
Let's talk about the actual album, The Last Stand. How was the feedback when the album released? How was it?
As far as I've read, people dig it. Actually, you know.
People like it.
As far as I know, I actually don't read too much of reviews or stuff like that. But as far as I know, people seem to enjoy it, and it's another SABATON album done, you know. And I think to think too much about what you do, and especially as a songwriter, to overanalyze things. Now I need to write a hit song. Now I need to make this, and now I need to please these guys, and these guys didn't like the synthesizers. I think that path is a very dangerous musical path to walk, you know. So keep on writing music, you know, that you like to write, and that you enjoy yourself. Most importantly, seem to have been working so far. So I think that would be a very healthy way of make sure that you can release a lot of more albums to come.
Does it matter to you when you get a band with you?
Well, yes and no. I mean, if you accept a good review, you must also accept a bad review.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can also, as Hannes does, I'm sorry for the language, but you just can not give a shit, you know. So if you disregard all the reviews and only go by like the fans' reaction, that's fine, totally.
Yeah, sure. It depends on the review or the, you know, if there's some, like I've had with other bands, like reviews often don't talk about the music. If you really read them, they talk about something else. So if somebody comes up and give you a really honest opinion about the album, or let's say a show where you speak to a fan that's seen 20 concerts, I'm super happy to get criticism from a fan like that, because they've seen the band so many times. But you know, to read about some review that's like, yeah, I don't like it, it's bad, and then you get some 2 out of 10. Did you even listen to it? Like,
it doesn't really matter for us either. I mean, the only ones who matters are the ones who like it. So there are some reviews that are going to be made by people who really enjoy Sabaton. Then of course that review matters. But this is not only for us, this goes for any band. On the other hand, if somebody's making the review and don't care for the band, well, why should you listen? Because you don't play for the person who don't like that kind of style. You're playing for the people who already like it. So that's what you should worry about, disappointing your fans. That is a bad thing. Getting a really bad review, fine, I don't give a shit. You know?
No, actually. And that's like, I remember one quote we had of my former band Evergrey. He said, Evergrey's music is like the winter flu. Some get it, and some are resistant to it. I don't know if that's bad, good or bad, you know. So I don't take it too seriously. If we play a show and the fans are silent and look like we fucked up, it's time to get worried for real. And if some journalist hates our music,
and if the Germans
don't buy the fucking album, then you go buy an album you like, you listen to it and have fun.
Yeah. And if the Germans aren't screaming "No Fangren," you got a problem.
Sure.
Then something went wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's the best album you made?
It's always hard to do. I mean, it's not up to us. It's up, once again, it's up to the fans to decide, not us. I really like it, yes. But for me to review the album, it takes many years. So I can actually look back now on the stuff we did like 4 or 5 years ago and see how many songs are still in the set list. You know, how many songs do the fans want to hear. And that can change, because we've had that many times where we released an album and then some people said, oh, it's very good. It's not as good as the last one. And then 3 years later, you talk to the same person. Then that old one that was not as good as the old one is even better then. So it takes some time to grow into an album. And especially for us doing it, it takes years before we can judge it properly.
Yeah, from an objective point of view.
Yeah.
It's really hard, especially both Joakim, especially is very involved in the mixing and the mastering, and obviously the songwriting. And I like the whole process of mixing. And so when you come out of that process, your brain is fried. You've been listening to frequencies so much.
And you've been looking for errors. You've been training your head to listen for errors and mistakes.
So just put the album on from start to finish. That is, for me, a year probably to just. Okay, I'll listen to it. Let's see how I like it.
Where did you record it?
In Dalarna, Sweden, very close to where the band was based. It's made by Peter Tekgren, producer, one of the best in Europe, I'd say, or in the world for heavy metal.
The Abyss system.
Yeah, Abyss Studios, and we're lucky. We had one of the best heavy metal producers 45 minutes away from our hometown when we started. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to go anywhere else, you know.
So, are you writing the songs in the studio, or are the songs ready when you went to the studio?
Almost everything is ready when we go into the studio. There's some stuff. I think I was a little bit late on delivery on the song Works Drift on this one. So that came during the time we were in the studio. But now it's not a process where we book the studio, go in and then start jamming. We know what we're supposed to do when we get in there.
Yeah.
But you changed something in the studio when you, so maybe in the studio it sounds different.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I mean, especially when, like Hannes has a totally different idea what to do on the drums than when I wrote the song. And then we record both and see which one works best. I mean, for example, Hannes did some really cool stuff on the song Bill 32, 34. And then, of course, if he has a better idea, why the fuck should he stay with mine?
I think I actually really like that process. You come in there, we have the pre-production, the demos, what you want to call it, and then we're there to make it as good as possible. And that's everybody's intention. Sometimes you clash, you know, and you got to be man enough, you know, to say, hey, I'm wrong, you're right, yeah. But I like that whole process. It's cool to come in with the same intentions to make it as good as we can. Have fun. Have a barbecue once or twice.
Once or twice. I think I had barbecue 5 times a week.
So you had barbecue yesterday with the fans?
Yes.
I know.
It was pretty fun. No, it was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, yeah.
In the rock pop scene, you know, the fans are more downloading and streaming music and don't buy SDs. In the metal scene, is it different? Are the fans more loyal to the band? Or?
Yeah, I think it's the loyalty. People want to buy this stuff because collecting is big in heavy metal. So there are still record collectors. But I don't really care though if people are streaming on Spotify, listening on iTunes, or buy the album, which everybody does it different, and whichever works is fine. The only sad thing I see, because I like technology, you should embrace, because that's the future. So always go with that. And if people still want to buy, that's good. You know, want to have the CDs, that's fine too. I don't mind. But the only downside I see is when you do it digitally and you don't get the album like you do with Spotify. And you only listen to that single you heard, and you put that in your track list, and then you don't care about this. Because if most people think back, when you bought your first album, if that was a CD or an LP, maybe you listened to the first time the whole album, you liked 2 or 3 songs very much, but maybe some you didn't like, but then you play it all over and over again, and then 1 week later you realize one of the songs you didn't like from the beginning is the best song. And see, some music takes some time, some songs takes time to learn to like. And with
some
this,
bands are like that.
Exactly.
It takes 20 listens before you understand it.
Yeah. So in that's the case that you only put those 2 tracks you like instantly in your playlist, there's a good chance that you are losing out on what's maybe your favorite music in the whole world because you're not giving it a chance.
Yeah, sure. And also, like you said, I think it's also about, you can complain about download, streaming, blah, 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 as much as you like, but it's also about, from the other side, adapting to it. If you want to survive, then you need to adapt, to find another way then to, you know, it's 2017, you don't sell records like you did. That's how it is. So either you can sit there and like, yeah, fuck, it was better in the past. Yeah, you can somehow, you know, but try to adapt and find new ways, maybe.
So we finish the video, maybe we can do a jingle for our radio show.
Absolutely.
So it's like, we're Hannes and Joakim. We are Hannes and Joakim in SABATON, and you are listening to the show Meyer on tour. Okay, so try it. Check it out.
Yes.